projects we were working on. The first one was building a chapel, which was really cool. The second one was painting another chapel and putting fencing around the chapel. And then the third one was what Father called artistic evangelization. And when Father was describing it, it was really cool because it struck a chord with me, and it shows you how God uses everyone's talents even when you're not expecting them to come in handy. So this artistic evangelization is people going and painting religious images on the people's houses in the Dominican Republic. Whether they be images of the Sacred Heart, which they're really, really attached to, or the Rosary, or the Bible, or Mary and Jesus, or things like that. It's just really neat for that to be a perpetual witness to everyone. I mean, to be a kid growing up and seeing that every day is a really special thing. And so, for me, that was the group I was in, and to be able to be a part of that was like really amazing and really, really special.
But we'll be walking to Mass, which is about 3/4 of a mile down to the church, and kids will just come running out of nowhere and come up and hug us. And there's no fear of us, of strangers or anything. They love everyone, and in their simplicity, they're so trusting in everyone, I guess. But it's really neat to see that because you wouldn't see that in the U.S. at all.
Definitely.
When we, in the beginning of the week, we went and we watched a movie outside on the slide projector with all the kids in the neighborhood, and, you know, it was dark, and there wasn't a lot of space to sit down, so, you know, you'd offer your lap to a kid, and, you know, they would just so willingly take it, and I think that's true. Like, in the States, it's like, oh, don't talk to strangers, I mean, which is a good policy, but, you know, like, they're completely trusting, and they just have so much love to give, and every time you leave a place, you feel like you've made a new friend, just because the kids are so amazing.
They have so much love to give, but also all they want is love.
Yeah. Just the love that the kids give you, and they just run up to you and grab you and bring you to come do stuff with them, and especially the love.
One thing I realized while I was here, being here as a senior, having been to Rome, was sort of the ability to compare the two. And initially you wouldn't think that you'd be able to at all, but it's kind of, to me, it's like the church, how in the religious life there's the active life and the contemplative life. And Rome is kind of like the contemplative life. It's very spiritual, there's a lot of prayer, so many churches, and it really kind of epitomizes the contemplative life, whereas when you're here, it really emphasizes the active life, being the hands and feet of Christ for these people who need it. And, you know, whether you be building a chapel or painting a Catholic graffiti project on the side of someone's house, it's really neat to be able to be a part of that.
I feel like the biggest thing I got out of it was sort of an unmaterialistic closeness to God, more than I ever had before.
The friendships. We definitely did get to know the people we painted with.
What is that?
They were kids our age. They're going to university in Santo Domingo. Like, we got to know them really well just in the couple days, and it was tons of fun. We were joking with each other, and even with the language barrier, we were still able to communicate enough, and it was amazing.
I didn't expect to enjoy the language barrier as much as I did. Like just being in a group of people where you're the only one who speaks English and nobody else speaks English, like they all speak Spanish. Like, I didn't expect that it would be that much fun to try and communicate like that, but it was amazing. It was so much fun.
Friday night was definitely my favorite part because that's when we went to La Herradura. It's a little community that I had been working at all week, and I had only there for 4 days, and by the end of it, I showed up, and one of the moms, there was baptisms going on. There was 3 baptisms during the Mass, and I came in and I was saying hi to the people, and one of the moms was calling me over of these babies, and she asked me to be the godmother for one of the kids. So I have a godchild now in the Dominican Republic, so that was one of my favorite parts.
My favorite part of our mission trip was our last night in the mission. We went and we had Mass at the chapel where we had repainted and built some fence around, and during the Mass there were 3 baptisms. And it was my favorite part because it was really, really neat to see the unity They speak another language, they have a different culture, and most of the time I don't know what's going on, but to be there with those kids as they're being baptized, it was a real blessing, and it was amazing to be there and see, and it's pretty cool to see, you know, you can go to a different country, you can go to a different place, but you're still Catholic. It's very cool.